CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight with a major announcement in St. Thomas. Mayor Joe Preston says he won't seek re-election in this fall's municipal election. He made the announcement in a video posted to social media, which was followed up by a statement confirming his decision to retire from politics. Preston will end his time in municipal politics as a two-term mayor. Before that, he served as a member of Parliament for the Conservative Party, representing the Elgin-Middlesex London riding. Preston says he will continue to serve as mayor through the rest of his term before a new mayor and council are elected in the fall. London City councillors have endorsed a plan to lower the threshold for opening public warming centres, allowing people to take shelter from the cold more often. The motion passed unanimously despite some reservations expressed.
We've got tons of garbage, just open drug use everywhere in a family neighborhood. People are, they're driving around, they're walking, they can't go out they don't feel safe going out at night to walk their dog at 10 o'clock at night. It's unacceptable. So I still support it. I'm still going to vote yes because people need to come inside this winter.
The so-called Tier 3 surge response will activate when the temperature drops to -15 or wind chill values hit -20. Currently, both of those thresholds must be met to trigger the response. The change is expected to triple the number of nights the Boyle Community Centre is open at an expense of nearly $300,000. Council will also have staff examine how other extreme weather alerts from Environment Canada can be incorporated into the warming centre protocols.
The ice storm that happened at the end of December was a yellow. Red is like a tornado, like extreme. So yellow is still pretty extreme. So when I say extreme weather alerts, I mean all three. And so that's why I'm trying to specify the ice storm and the freezing rain.
Suspects accused in the Chesham Avenue weapons investigation appeared in a London courtroom today, one of them for a bail hearing. 25-year-old Faye Han was in the prisoner's box today as testimony was given through a Mandarin interpreter. A publication ban has been imposed on evidence heard at these hearings related to a rash of weapons-related offenses. A decision on bail will be made at a later date. In another courtroom, Feiyang Ji appeared via Zoom from the Elgin-Middlesex Detention Center. She was remanded in custody until February 17th. The battle over new police headquarters in Sarnia has taken a legal turn over the mayor's use of strong powers, blocking municipal funding for the project. With the latest on the dispute, here's Jerry Dewan.
Sarnia Mayor Mike Bradley stands by his decision to use strong mayor powers to override a council decision which would have given the police service $5 million to start planning for a new headquarters.
I do not know how they can actually force a city to put up $5 million when we've already set our budget following their rules. It's locked in.
A letter from a Toronto law firm responding on behalf of the Sarnia Police Services Board spelled out that under Section 50 of the Community and Policing Act, using strong mayor powers to influence the police budget is overreach. Sarnia councillor and Police Services Board Vice Chair Anne-Marie Gillis says the headquarters isn't a nice to have, it's a need to have.
We need to do it, and we need to do it soon.
Gillis says a letter from the Solicitor General's office was distributed in mid-January to councils and police services boards across the province and was a direct response to the strong mayor power play in Sarnia. It stressed that strong mayor powers do not include the power to limit police service board increases.
The Solicitor General has made that quite clear. So here we are trying to sort it all out.
Mayor Bradley continues to point to an independent engineering report commissioned by the police service, which indicates that for about $4.5 million, the current headquarters can remain viable. Gillis says that money would only make the headquarters compliant under the Ontarians with Disabilities Act and doesn't address overcrowding and the inadequate facilities that aren't conducive to modern policing.
We don't have a safe place to transport or move prisoners into the actual facility itself, which is required. So there are specific requirements from the minister that we must comply with, and we cannot comply with the actual physical building the way it is.
Bradley says the $5 million commitment will lead the city down the path of spending approximately $120 million for the new headquarters.
The Ford government always talks about affordability and taking care of the ordinary person. If they intervene in this, they're sending a message that mayors and councils across this province should just give up on trying to control their budget.
Bradley says Sarnia is one of the few cities in Canada that has a balanced budget, and the new headquarters will mean significant tax increases for years to come. In Sarnia, Jerry Dewan, CTV News.
The Black Walnut Cafe has reopened in Wortley Village nearly 3 years after a devastating fire tore through the property. With more on the rebuilding effort ahead of a grand opening event this weekend, here's Sean Irvin.
Here it sits, a building so iconic that if you didn't know otherwise, you'd swear is the original. The Black Walnut Cafe is reborn 3 years after a deliberately set fire destroyed the 1880s building it once called home. The blaze in April of 2023 left a hole in the heart of Wortley Village.
It was, heart-wrenching to see it going up in flames and everything that we built over the years.
It has taken almost 3 years and a lot of challenges to get here.
When it first happened, we vowed to rebuild, and we kind of thought it would be about a year, maybe a year and a half to get it all done, but it was a pretty long journey, a lot of roadblocks in our way, and but we're here, we made it, and so that's fantastic.
A soft open began this week as 20 staff members welcomed regulars back for a test run.
We had a lineup at the door. We let in our, VIP customers, we call them. But yeah, everyone has been a familiar face, honestly.
And those familiar faces had the first look at the inside of the building. It combines modern baking and kitchen facilities with classic nods to the original structure.
They did an awesome job, and it's exactly the same like before. And it's beautiful.
It cost over $2 million to rebuild the Black Walnut. Not a surprising figure, given the only thing that survived the fire was the sign over the door. That sign is now joined by another welcoming customers back. The owners admit the business could have been rebuilt for hundreds of thousands of dollars less had they not tried to duplicate the original structure. Stained glass, period windows, and other touches are among the additional costs incurred.
I think a lot of people these days put up square-looking, kind of modern buildings, but we wanted to bring back that past and bring back what the community loves so much. And I think we brought it back really similar to the way it was outside and inside.
In London, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
A new report on Canada's housing outlook is predicting higher building costs this year, fewer new homes built, and more existing units sitting unsold. With more on the factors and the findings, here's Heather Wright.
The headwinds facing Canada's economy are being felt by Canada's housing industry as well.
The general climate environment of uncertainty that has been brought about by the trade tensions and the uncertainty going forward has definitely impacted housing investment.
According to the Housing Market Outlook released today by the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation, new home construction is set to decline through 2028 as developers face high costs, weaker demand, and more unsold homes. Condo construction is expected to be especially weak. The CMHC report also underscores the impact elevated unemployment, modest income growth, and slowing population growth are having on the housing market.
Several factors that are spelling out a slower market for the next several years.
While new condo construction is expected to remain high in Montreal, the CMHC predicts a dismal condo market in both Vancouver and Toronto, where inventory is high and sales are weak.
A seller of a new build, you're looking at a full deposit forfeit.
Daniel Zadigan is a realtor who says sellers are losing deposits and then some when trying to sell condos they bought pre-construction 4 or 5 years ago, when prices were high and interest rates were low. But he says the oversupply won't last forever, and the lack of starts will create new problems down the road.
Long term, however, the lack of housing starts is at one point going to show its impact, maybe in a few years, because I know starting next year, I think the housing starts, completions, are going to really start to dramatically taper off.
The CMHC has warned that Canada needs an additional 3.5 million homes to restore affordability by 2030, a goal becoming increasingly difficult to attain. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Officials with Canadian Blood Services are asking people to give blood and plasma, reporting a dip in donations across the country. With more on the urgency of this request, here's Karis Mapp.
Today is my 5th time.
It's probably only about 5.
97. Whether it's your first or 100th time, Canadian Blood Services is encouraging everyone to donate blood and plasma as soon as they can.
We're just wanting to ensure that we can keep up with the demand that the hospitals are needing.
Donations are down everywhere.
In the next 2 weeks in Kitchener-Waterloo alone, we have over 500 appointments open and available to book into. So that's a potential for over 500 units of blood to be collected, and they're sitting vacant.
The winter weather playing a large role in people canceling their appointments or not wanting to book and leave their house at a time when the need is greater than ever.
When there's icy road conditions, there are more accidents and car crashes and things that would cause the hospitals to need more blood for emergent cases as well.
Some people say they were simply unaware of the process.
I didn't know anything about this growing up or when I was younger, and it never entered my mind to think about it.
Others started showing up because of a personal connection.
A long time ago when my brother was born, he needed blood transfusions. My mom can't donate, but my dad has always donated. And I used to go with him as a high school student.
I have a brother-in-law that's had a lot of blood transfusions. So do it for people like that.
Whatever the reason, organizers say people's generosity could help save a life.
You're helping your community, you're giving back, and you're also doing something for yourself, something that makes you feel good.
Today I'm here donating blood for the first time, and Canadian Blood Services say they need more people to do the same. So they've launched a campaign with an incentive they also hope will be appealing. The Give and Get Away initiative lets donors enter for a chance to win 2 round-trip tickets to any Air Canada scheduled destination.
If you donate one time, you can enter once. If you donate twice in that time period, you can enter twice. If you add a stem cell registry sign up in there, you get a bonus entry.
Regular donors say it's worth any reservations people may have when thinking about the bigger picture.
There's nothing hard about it. It doesn't hurt you. All you're doing is helping people. It's a win-win-win-win-win, right?
Karis Mapp, CTV News, Waterloo.
The London Knights were on the road tonight in Kitchener, taking on the Rangers.
Out on the wing, it's Vermeulen. Vermeulen shot, scores! Sam O'Reilly, short-handed against his former team.
Yes, for the second time in less than a week, Sam O'Reilly made his former team pay. He scored the game winner for the Rangers in London last Wednesday. He bagged an insurance marker tonight in Kitchener. He also scored an empty netter as the Rangers beat the Knights 5-2. The Knights are right back at it tomorrow when they host the Guelph Storm at Canada Life Place. A mix of highs and lows for Canada on day 4 of the Olympic schedule. With more on today's results and in addition to our country's medal haul, here's Scott Hurst.
Down and out. Captain of the Canadian women's hockey team, Marie-Philippe Poulin, did not play against the Americans on Tuesday. She's listed as day-to-day with a lower body injury after taking a hit into the boards during Canada's win over Czechia Monday night.
Losing her is obviously a big one because the United States have been the better team internationally over the last couple of years.
And the United States proved to be too strong on this day, beating Canada to remain undefeated in the preliminary round of the women's hockey tournament. Staying on the ice, Canada is back on the podium, this time in short track speed skating, a silver medal in the mixed relay event.
So close to the podium in Beijing, so it kind of feels special just coming back here and just getting ourselves on the podium.
A shared moment of joy for Kim Boutin, Courtney Sarreau, William Dangenou, and Felix Roussel. Florence Brunel and Stephen Dubois also getting medals for skating in the earlier rounds. Figure skater Steven Gogolev with a strong performance in the men's singles short program with a score of 87.41, setting himself up for the free skate on Friday. So far so good for opening ceremony flag bearer Mikhail Kingsbury, third in moguls qualification, just behind his teammate, Quebec City's Julien Viel. Both are moving on to the finals. And making its Olympic debut, women's alpine team combined. One skier tackling the downhill speed event, the other racing the more technical slalom course. Canadians Valérie Grenier and Laurence Saint-Germain finishing 13th. So the medal count now stands at 3, 1 silver and 2 bronze, with more athletes in the mix for medals tomorrow, including in the ice dance final. 3 Canadian pairs, led by Piper Giles and Paul Poirier, third heading into the final event. Scott Hurst, CTV News, Toronto.
London hockey player Julia Gosling has 3 goals through Canada's first 3 games of the women's tournament, cheered on by her family here at home.
She's doing very well, and I think each game she improves, she gets more confident.
Gosling's grandmother lives at Metcalfe Gardens retirement home in St. Thomas, where she and other residents have been watching the Olympic action. With the early afternoon start time, large groups of seniors have been gathering to cheer on Gosling and her teammates.
It is a dream come true because, she's, of course, they started very young, and that's always been her dream. But yes, so she was hoping the last Olympics. But this year it came true, and I'm delighted to see her do so well.
When we come back, the president burning political bridges, the latest on the controversy at the Windsor-Detroit border, and the apparent lobbying behind the scenes. Canada's main stock index was up on strength in the technology sector. The TSX gained 234 points. In New York, the Dow added 52. The Nasdaq lost 136. Canadian dollar up 0.17 on commodity markets. Gold fell more than $48 an ounce. Oil dropped 40 cents a barrel. Prime Minister Mark Carney says he had a positive conversation with Donald Trump this morning over the president's threats to block the new Windsor-Detroit bridge from opening. With the latest, here's Mike Couture.
Canada, of course, paid for the construction of the bridge, over $4 billion.
Prime Minister Mark Carney said he laid out that fact to President Donald Trump in an early morning call that he described as positive. He also cleared up Trump's misconception about the construction and ownership of the span.
See, there's Canadian steel, Canadian workers, but also U.S. steel, U.S. workers that are involved. This is a great example of cooperation between our countries.
Contrary to Trump's claims, the 2017 agreement clearly spells out that the crossing will be publicly owned jointly by Canada and Michigan. Yet Trump's officials insist there are issues.
There's a question as to the proceeds of tolls, etc., and so there's going to be a negotiation on that front.
The agreement states Canada will collect tolls until it recoups the costs related to construction. After that, they're split between Canada and Michigan. One former ambassador says there's a reason the president gets things so wrong.
You've got a bunch of crackpot advisors in the White House who misinform the president, who already likes to have tantrums and lash out.
The New York Times is reporting the owner of the older Ambassador Bridge, Matthew Maroon, lobbied the Trump administration on the same day the president unleashed his tirade about the Gordie Howe span.
The Maroons are the only party that benefits from delaying the bridge. They make a lot more money at the expense of Canadian and American consumers and everyone else.
Ontario's premier believes there's an economic argument for the new bridge, which could spill over into the American midterm elections.
If, the 13 Congress people, 7 are which Republicans, they start getting hammered by their constituents, watch how quickly they flip.
But before that happens, Prime Minister Carney says President Trump asked his ambassador to Canada and Michigan native Pete Hoekstra to continue the conversation and bridge the apparent gap. Mike Couture, CTV News, Ottawa.
Good evening. We'll have some light flurries overnight in parts of Midwestern Ontario. The winds have kicked around to the northwest, indicating the passage of a cold front. Temperatures will once again be dropping, but don't worry, the temperatures aren't going to be as cold as they were over the weekend. We've rebounded back to where we should be for this time of year. Heading into tomorrow morning, -4. Northwest winds continue and they'll pick up as we head through the afternoon. So some flurries continue, and we'll see some flurries develop in London as we head into Wednesday afternoon, evening. Thanks, Lindsay, for this photo of Zoe. Make sure you're still bundled up first thing in the morning. A wind chill close to about -10. Stay with us.
Welcome back with Julie on the desk now with a forecast that has some numbers that aren't negative anymore when you're starting to look out. That's nice to see.
It is nice to see. I thought you were going to talk to me about the push-ups we did at 6.
I'm still recovering, yeah. Because we did, what was it, 2,000 was what we had to get up to.
Make sure you check online if you want to check that out. It's on our CTV website for sure. We did a little segment at the end where we crushed some push-ups. But in terms
Team
of
effort.
Yes, in terms of heading outdoors, we do have some nice conditions in the extended forecast. And you're right, temperature was in the right direction today. That's for sure. We hit a high of 3 degrees. Our low temperature -8, comparing that with what's normal for this time of year. Today, we were actually above. Overnight, still a bit of a wind chill, feeling close to about -12, but overnight lows anywhere from -4 to -5. So the temperature is not going to really move a whole lot in the next 24 hours. So today we had a warm front come in, and that did bring some cloud cover and a little bit of light precipitation in parts of Midwestern Ontario. Eastern Ontario accumulating a snowfall. So from Kingston to Ottawa, picking up the heaviest amount of snow, and we got some good snow in through southern Quebec tonight. This moisture will continue to drive east towards the Maritimes. We have high pressure building in, but not until we head into the weekend to start. So tomorrow, the weather player will be this cold northwest wind, and that will generate off-lake flurries and cloud cover in southern Ontario. So we will have some accumulating snow, especially towards central areas of Grey and Bruce County, northern Dufferin County as well. Huron, you'll pick up some snow under 4 centimeters. So this is not a big snow maker, but the flurries and gusty winds will have the snow blowing around. The winds will be out of the northwest, 30, as I mentioned. So expect some of those open area highways and all those fields out towards Midwestern Ontario, those rural areas, you'll have that snow whipping across the highway. So just be prepared for that. You've had a rough winter, friends. Flurries will continue as we head into Huron County. In London tomorrow afternoon, some flurries as you head home for the day, but just expecting minimal accumulation. So anything under 1 to 2 centimeters, I normally just say trace amounts of snow, and that's what we're expecting. North of London, though, parts of as Huron County, you could see 4 centimeters, and then as we head further north in that blue bullseye, encompassing Grey County, Mount Forest, you're in that as well. You could see in total 2 to 4 tonight and then another couple 2 to 4 tomorrow. So on the higher end, close to 8 total. -3, the high through the day Wednesday afternoon. Temperature, as I mentioned, not moving a whole lot. -3 on Thursday and mainly cloudy. Friday, we have lots of sunshine. We're at the freezing mark. And then things shift. Look at this, 4 degrees. Saturday, sunshine. We'll see increasing amounts of cloud cover on Sunday with some nighttime snow, although snowfall amounts look to be quite minimal over the weekend. Traveling, if you are planning to head out on the roads this weekend, looks pretty good. The only opportunity for snow coming in on a Sunday night. Forecast highs early next week above freezing, and that's where we want to be this time of year. I think you're going to be singing spring, especially as we head into the weekend with daytime highs above the freezing mark. So colder over the next couple of days with some flurries on the way tomorrow. Flurries across the region tomorrow afternoon, evening, and then as we head into your Friday, back to full sunshine, looking good for Saturday, and the weekend is shaping up to be nice, especially for the holiday with daytime highs holding anywhere in Midwestern Ontario from 0 to +1. Have a great night, and I'll see you again tomorrow.
Thanks, Julie. The Great Lakes are now more than half frozen over. Lake Erie alone is at about 95% coverage. Forecasters say it could freeze over completely, which it hasn't done since or in nearly 30 years. A massive crack opened up through the middle of the lake as well, about 80 miles long, so large it's actually visible from space. A Huron County company is breaking into a new market this year, making decontamination trailers for Ontario firefighters. Scott Miller reports.
Andy Orr and Tom Enns admire the latest creation from their business, the Trailer Factory, a mobile decontamination trailer to be used by firefighters at the scene of emergencies.
If you're contaminated with a substance, the idea of getting back into a cab of a fire truck, for instance, and then going back to the base, well, now you've contaminated everybody and everything kind of in the midst of that. So the idea is clean it on site if you can, and then you can come back, you hop in a cab, and everybody's got a safe, clean environment.
The mobile decontamination trailers come with their own water tank, wastewater tank, and power supply. The first one shipped out last week, with 6 more destined for fire departments in southern Ontario.
It actually originally started, there was a bunch of municipal fires down in Wheatley, Ontario. If you're familiar with them, they had explosions right in the main street. The ministry realized at that point in time that there was a real need for units like this to get these guys cleaned up before they go home to see their families.
While the decontamination trailers are a totally new product for them, this kind of mobile trailer is not new to Orr and Ends, who have grown from 3 employees when they opened 9 years ago to 74 employees today.
Our main product line is portable washrooms, and we've kind of watched that space grow over the last number of years, where it's become a rule and legislation that on a job site you need to have portable sanitation with hot water. And this is kind of dovetails right in nicely behind it, where you should solve the problem while you're there.
Well, they did just start with these 7 decontamination trailers that are destined for firefighting stations in Ontario. They've already got an order for one for the city of Vancouver, and there's really a growth possibility with this kind of product across all of Canada.
We think there's a huge market for it, not only for commercial and residential fires, but also in the forest fighting industry. We see a lot of need for it out west, where you see the big forest fires and things like that.
In Huron Park, Scott Miller, CTV News.
CTV News London has a newsletter helping you start your day with the latest local headlines. By signing up, you'll get local news content from CTV London direct to your inbox, including top stories, the forecast, and videos. You can sign up at ctvnewslondon.ca. Finally tonight, the tricky nature of time zones and Olympic scheduling. With more on the accommodation efforts to ensure viewers get to see their country's athletes in action live, here's Garrett Berry.
Tonight is a night that hockey fans here in Milan have had circled on their calendars for quite some time. But there's something else notable on the tickets, the 8:10 start time. Tonight's game is one of many, especially here in Milan, that start well after dark. It's not unusual for events to start at 8, 9, even 10 o'clock at night and finish even later. Those late starts and finishes have been an adjustment for athletes competing on the ice.
You try not to look at your clock when you get back, but we did a great job coming into the village when we were in Lugano, making sure that we were kind of adjusting ourselves and staying up later than normal. I would say that usually, especially my roommates, are probably going to bed usually a little bit earlier than 11:30, but when you know that you're going to be on the ice till that time, you don't really want your body to get into that rhythm.
We got a chance today to ask Olympic organizers about these scheduling choices. They say this is a conversation that happens during every games, but the later starts here in Milan allow more people in North America and around the world to watch events live. So to spread the Olympic message, they said it's a worthy move to change routines. Garrett Berry, CTV News in Milan.
That's it for us. Thanks for watching. For all of us at CTV News London, I'm Carlyle Fiset. Have a good night.